This is episode 41 of the Online Playmaker Sessions with social media recruiting expert Jessica Higdon.
Welcome to the Online Playmaker Sessions. This is the place for the latest What's Working Now strategies from the best online playmakers, the top marketers, the rising stars who are making it happen right now. Every week, you'll get real, actionable lessons that you can take and apply immediately in your business, delivered in short 20-minute sessions. Our focus is your results. Here's your host, entrepreneur, world-class trainer, and marketing strategist, Norbert Orlowitz.
Hello, online playmakers. If this is your first time tuning into the Playmaker Sessions, thank you for choosing us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you prefer video, our YouTube channel at onlineprofitplaybook.tv. As with all of our episodes, we have all the show notes, transcripts, and actionable tips over on the blog. Just head over to www.onlineprofitplaybook.com. You'll also be able to get access to my complimentary 5-video tutorial series on building the proper foundation for your online business, as well as several other free trainings, including my Instant Income Multiplier tutorial. And if you're ready to multiply your results fast, check out the premium membership of our Online Profit Playbook, where our guests open up their closely guarded playbooks and walk you step by step through the exact marketing funnels and sales process they use to build their audience, grow their influence, and make sales. Get the coveted Online Profit Playbook today. Just head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers. Jessica Higdon started in the network marketing industry when she was 21 years old. Because of her age and lack of business connections, she had a very, very small warm market. After striking out with friends and family and not signing up anyone in her business for the first 5 months, she decided to turn to social media. Over the next 18 months, Jessica built a 6-figure residual income in her company using mainly Facebook and became the #1 female income earner in her company. Her and her husband now train for the profession all over the world, and she has since created multiple training programs that have grossed over $1 million in revenue. Jessica is recognized as the leading authority on social media recruiting for network marketers and is the secret weapon for many top leaders who follow her strategies. Jessica is passionate and committed to helping people grow their business using social media to achieve their dreams and financial goals. This week's Online Playmaker, Jessica Higdon. All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode 41 of the Online Playmaker Sessions. And today I have a very special guest. I'm really excited to bring her on here, the one and only Jessica Higdon. How are you doing today, Jessica?
I am doing awesome. I'm so glad to be on and honored. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. We go back quite a ways, a few years back now in this industry, and it's been amazing for me to see you grow as a leader and to see what you and Ray have accomplished over the last few years has been absolutely mind-blowing. And to think of all the lives that you've impacted with your training, with everything that you guys have been doing. So first of all, I just want to commend you for all of your success and everything you've accomplished over the last few years. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I know right now you are in the middle of a big product launch, one of your most popular courses, the 10K Social Media Recruiting Formula, which I know that course alone has so many testimonials and so many success stories. So it's really amazing that you guys are bringing this out to the market again, and you'll be able to help so many people with that. So obviously we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Jessica, I think everybody would love to get to know you a little bit and hear a little bit about your story for those that don't know you. So maybe if you could take us back a few years and just share with us how you got started in this industry real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first got started in network marketing, I was 21 years old. I had no business experience whatsoever. I was brand new to really everything in life, let alone business, right? I was just kind of getting thrown out into the world after college, and I couldn't find a job. Go figure, right? I had a marketing degree, and I was going around interviewing And everybody they just wanted to offer me like $8 an hour with no room for growth and just kind of internship positions and nothing that really excited me. So network marketing fell into my lap and I was really excited about it. I wasn't old enough to really have a stigma for it or have some, some kind of negative feeling towards it. So I was really excited, no stigma there, but I was scared because I had no idea how to build my business. And I think a lot of us feel that way, right? And I had no warm market. That would be a total understatement to say I had no warm market. All my friends were broke college kids who didn't care about anything. And all of their parents were the only other people I knew, and they thought I was absolutely crazy. So I started from, to say I started from scratch, like I said, would be an understatement. I started from below scratch. And I needed to find a different way. Not only because of having no warm market, but because I had no confidence and I was showing up that way in everything I was doing, because the people that knew me, if I showed up to them with some kind of business background and looking super professional, they would have told me, what the heck are you doing? Why in the world are you saying this to me? You sound very strange. You sound very weird. And I think that's kind of what happens when we get into network marketing or even anything new. The people we know around us treat us like how we've been the past 20 years versus the new person that we want to become. So I decided to look on social media and look online for some type of mentorship, some type of way to build my business, because I knew that if I came online, I could be whoever I wanted to be. And I don't mean that inauthentically or out of integrity. I mean, I could be confident. I could be a new person and be the leader that I wanted to become, because these people didn't know me. They didn't know my background, and that excited me. So I looked for, like I said, some mentorship, found some people that had built businesses on social media. And so it gave me hope. And I thought, okay, if they've done it, so can I. And long story short, with some trial and error, I built a system to get me to 10,000 a month within 18 months, 95% using social media. And after that, I became the top female income earner in my company. And then from there, we started getting asked to do trainings for what I was doing for different companies and different team members. And so my husband and I's training and coaching company just skyrocketed as well. And we speak all over the world, and it's been really, really exciting. So, but if you had asked me, 7, 8 years ago, if that would be happening today, I would have told you were absolutely insane. And there's no way that would be me. So it's just kind of crazy. I pinch myself sometimes.
Well, it's awesome. And it's not like it was an overnight success story either. You're talking about, trial and error and some years of struggle and trying to figure it out. And that's the way that most successes are created. Okay. So social media, hot topic. Obviously, I see so many people in the industry, so many business owners in different industries as well, trying to leverage social media. Everybody tells us, you got to be using Facebook, you got to be on social media, but so many people are doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. Can you share with us maybe some of the mistakes? Let's first address the mistakes. What are some of the big mistakes that you see, specifically a lot of network marketers make when they come online trying to promote their business on social media?
For sure. There's some big ones.
Yeah, you see them.
I think when people first come into a company, they look to the leadership and say, okay, let me just do what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And if I do what they did, I'll be successful. And they see that these big time leaders are posting, they're all kinds of stuff about their company and their banner ads about their company everywhere. And they see that these leaders are getting a ton of shares and comments and likes and a ton of people just everywhere ranting and raving about their stuff. And they think, oh, that must be what I should do. Well, those people who are commenting and sharing their stuff, those aren't leads. Those aren't prospects. Those are people within the same company that are liking it and sharing it. So it's just different. Those leaders, they've worked very hard to get where they are. But that's not how they got there. And so they should get shares and likes and comments, but it's not leads and prospects. And that's something that you need to distinguish from where you are versus where they are. So to post a bunch of stuff about your company, unless you have a huge following, that's most likely just not going to work for you. And it looks spammy. And when you do start going out there and prospecting people, it's going to show up as a red flag, because the first thing they're going to do is look at who you are and what type of person you are. They're going to look at your profile. They're going to look at your about section. And the first things that stand out, if they're your company, they're going to say, whoa, wait a minute, this person has other intentions. So that is a huge mistake that I see people make, number one. Number two is they're not themselves. They try and be somebody else. So, when you come online, like I said, I wanted to portray confidence and become the person that I wanted to be, but I still had my personality mixed into it. So they want to come online and be a Norbert or a Jess or a Ray or whoever. And that's not you. That's not your personality. Be vulnerable, be honest with people, take them on your journey, whether it's through messaging, prospecting back and forth, or just your marketing in general. And people will respect you 10 times more for that than you trying to be, this perfect person or be somebody that you're not. That was a huge realization for me too, as I was going through the process.
Wow, that's huge. I love that distinction that you made, between the leaders and what they're doing and what you as a beginner, and the distinction between those people that are sharing and engaging, they're not leads. I think that's a huge distinction, especially for a lot of new people in the industry who are seeing this happening and they're not really understanding how to go about social media the right way. Okay, so if those are some of the mistakes that people are making, then what's the right approach? What are some of the things how should we approach social media when we're thinking about using it as a prospecting tool?
So number one, you should make yourself look professional, and for your profile is like your first impression. So whatever you put on there, it should be, like I said, a reflection of your personality and your end goal, keeping the end goal in mind. So you want to think about what type of lifestyle do you want to portray to people? What type of person do you want to attract? If somebody reaches out to you and you look at, let's say 2 people reach out to you, and you have the choice to respond or to get into a conversation with someone who has grainy profile pictures. They share a bunch of other people's stuff, and you don't see anything of their personality or anything of them. They don't really create any original content. They don't do anything themselves. And then you have this other person over here who has professional photos or nice looking photos. They tell you in their about section what they're about, who they help specifically, not just a link or what their company is. They have, maybe some Facebook Lives on there, or they have some original content, or they provide some inspiration, some quotes, things like that. They talk about their life, their personality. You're going to choose this person over here every single time. So just coming onto social media, think about what would you want to see. If you were going to work with someone, what type of qualities would you want to see in them? And that's what you should have on your profile. Your profile is like step 1 of the first impression when you're prospecting people, and people don't give that enough thought. Also, when you are going out and reaching out to people, which is really how I built my entire business, is you want to make sure that you're creating a relationship first, some type of friendship, and finding the need. Now, that doesn't mean that you reach out to someone and 3 months later, you're finally getting to the close, right? You're finally talking about your business. That's not what that means. It means you're establishing some type of connection, some type of rapport, maybe something in common with them, seeing if there's a need real fast, and then either filling it or moving on and filling it with your product or service, instead of just, sending a link or automatically talking about your business. Those are 2 very important distinctions.
Okay, now obviously, I know in one of the training videos that you released, one of the free training videos, I believe you share some different scripts that you use. Is that right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we don't need to get into too much detail about the scripts because we'll leave a link here below for that training video. But let's address that kind of that challenge, because I think that's where a lot of people might get hung up is, okay, I know I'm supposed to use social media to expand my warm market, to go out and make connections with other people. But as strange as it was for me to meet strangers on the street and try to expand my network,
Right.
I also find it quite strange to do that on social media. I know there's lots of other people that say, oh, I feel weird just like contacting other people that I don't know and saying, hey. How do you help people get over maybe some of those hesitations, that fear of rejection, that fear of what will other people think when I contact them out of the blue? How do you make that transition and make that work for people?
Yeah, such a great question. So it goes back to kind of what I originally said about being yourself and being vulnerable. If you feel a little awkward to reach out to someone, why not just say that? Because so many people, they try and hide that. So why not just reach out to them and say, don't say, hey, I thought this might be awkward, but say something along the lines of, hey, just so you know, I don't reach out to everyone, but you stuck out to me specifically because of X, Y, and Z, whatever specifics those are. And I don't want you to think I'm some like spammer or make this super awkward. I just really genuinely wanted to reach out to you and connect because of these reasons. So be honest with people and tell them like, hey, I was hesitant to reach out to you because I didn't want you to think I was some spammer or something, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to connect with this person. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel like you're authentic and they trust you more because you were totally honest with them. So if that is something you struggle with me personally, I didn't really care because, I wasn't going to ever see these people if, they didn't get in my business. So I just wanted to make the connections as fast as possible. But I know a lot of people, they have that hang up and it's a valid hang up. So if you do struggle with that, that's exactly what I would do is just be honest with people and say, hey, I wasn't going to reach out to you, but I decided, what the heck, let me give it a shot.
Okay, and now when we're looking for people to prospect, to connect with, how do we make the choice of where to find them and who to connect with? Because obviously you don't want to connect with just any random Joe on the internet. So how do we find people that could actually be good quality prospects? And I'm sure you cover this more in training, but let's just touch on this really quickly here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I give you very specifics of where, I specifically found leaders, found people that you can find, that you can reach out to that are good people. But one of the qualities that I feel my training and what I've done is good at is finding leadership, because you can waste a lot of your time because there's so many people on social media just going for people that have no interest whatsoever in your business and just looky-loos and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that will waste a lot of your time. So if you want to find leadership, a quick tip to do that is look at your company. Is there anything in common that the top leadership in your company possesses? Like, do they all have a similar background? If they don't, do they all have a similar personality type? Do they all have a similar hobby? Or, is there something that you can pick out about, a specific leader that you personally like that you can go and find on social media? So once you pick out those qualities, then think about, okay, where would that person hang out? Would they, hang out on at a Tony Robbins seminar? Would they like a Rich Dad Poor Dad book? Would they like tennis? I don't know, but all those different things can kind of reverse engineer you getting down to the nitty gritty of what type of fan pages, what type of groups to look for to find these people. And then just look at their comments, see who's positive, see who, is someone that you feel would be worth looking into, and reach out to that specific person.
Now, I'm sure that there's some really, and again, you go through this in your scripts, but I'm sure there's some really specific things that we've got to be aware of when we're having this conversation. Obviously, you're talking about building rapport, so, find some affinity, find some things that are in common. I get that. I turn into, the business opportunity and the recruiting, and how do you not, scare people away or come across too pushy or too salesy and still make that transition without waiting for 3 months, like you said, and being too soft about it. I think that transition is really important, how you approach that. Can you give us some pointers there?
Yeah, for sure. This is a huge tip, so you might want to write this down because you'll use it quite a bit. The line that I use 90% of the time to start someone into the transition into the close. Now you have to make sure they're ready for it, but the line itself makes sure that they're ready for it, okay? Is based on what you've shared with me, I think you may want to take a look at what I do, or may want to take a look at my product based on what they've shared with you. So just the based on what you've shared with me puts it back on them, and it assures you that you're not trying to transition too quickly. Because if you just get a hello from someone and then you say, well, based on what you've shared with me, that makes no sense whatsoever. So just that little line, based on what you've shared with me, you may want to take a look at what I do. It may or may not be a fit for you, but if it is something that you're open to, I could get you some information. And it's just that simple. Obviously if you say based on what you shared with me, they've either given you some little nugget. It could even be that they don't like their job, or, they're working all the time, or they're a super busy person, whatever that may be. And you can kind of play off of that with them.
Awesome. What a great line. That's perfect. That's a good one. All right. Something else I want to talk to you a little bit about. We talk about positioning yourself on social media and sort of creating this brand, so to speak. We talk a lot about with online marketing. We talk a lot about attraction marketing. You even mentioned creating your own content. And, there's a lot of talk about branding yourself online. How important is that to growing a successful network marketing business on social media using your formula? How important is creating your own content and moving into that position of branding yourself? I mean, obviously you've got an incredible brand now online. You've got a blog, you've got incredible content, you've got a huge social media presence. How important is all of that to making this formula work?
Yeah, well, you can make up anything you lack in skill with numbers. So if you have a terrible page or a terrible profile, you'll just have to go through more numbers, plain and simple. And you can make it happen, especially if you know exactly what to say. But having a great brand and having some content pieces, it just makes your life a lot easier, to be honest with you. So if you do have, like I said, some nice profile pictures, and it doesn't take much, honestly, it doesn't take much effort to do that. If you just go that little extra, because there is so much competition out there right now with social media and online marketing, you'll stand out ahead of 90% of the people that just don't want to do that or haven't been trained properly to do that. So branding and looking professional, like I said, it is your first impression, and it'll make your life a lot easier in the process. So you don't have to have it, but I highly recommend doing it.
That kind of leads into my next question, which was going to be competition, because competition and saturation, because more and more people, when we started back online, 2008, 2009, when Facebook first launched, there weren't a lot of network marketers leveraging social media. Today, it's so prevalent. I mean, that's one of the things that network marketers run to immediately. Most of them do it wrong. Mm-hmm. So, in this space where there's a lot more competition, more people are leveraging social media. Is there any risk of saturation, and how do I stand out from the competition and from other network marketers out there recruiting as well?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said most people do it wrong. I mean, you may be, you even watching this interview and being a part of Norbert's community sets you apart from most of the people out there. So you may see a lot of people that are doing it right, but that's because you're in a community of people that are being trained the right way. So it's not like a ton of people are actually doing it the right way. You stand out on that fact alone. But another thing that I see is that people just won't be consistent. So if you're the one who is consistent, maybe, a ton of people, let's say 100,000 people see this interview, and they go out there and they send the exact same message and they do the exact same thing on their profile. Not that that would ever happen, but let's say it did. Well, I'm going to give it 3 months to where you weed out the people that are really serious and actually stay consistent and do what they're supposed to do. And those people will just stand out, plain and simple, because they showed up for their business each and every day. So a lot of people always talk about saturation and are worried about it. That's why I'm so glad you brought up this question. But it's just never been an issue for me or a lot of the people that we work with, because they stay consistent. They know what to do. They have the system in place. They know it works. So that's just the name of the game.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I totally see that too, but I want to make sure that people understand that as well. 3 months. Wow, you're very optimistic. I would say probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, it varies on the person, right? But I would say 3 months to really find the good people that are going to really push through. So.
Yeah, totally. All right. So really quickly here, because we're gonna wrap this up. This has been an awesome interview. Some really great content, some really great specific things that people can take away and start applying in their business right away. Obviously, we're gonna leave the links for the free training videos that Jessica has created for you as well, so you can reference those. You can grab her scripts and start applying this strategy. Let's talk about the course that you're launching right now. You've had hundreds of people, thousands of people now, go through this course. Tell us some of the big benefits that people are going to get, from taking their business seriously, jumping into the course and going through this training with you.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people that, got the course, went through it. One thing that they were lacking in their business was kind of step-by-step mentorship. Not to say that they didn't have an upline or a good person that they joined with, but to have the step-by-step accountability and know exactly what to say, exactly how to handle it when this person says that or that objection. And someone really, it's like me walking you through, like I'm there, step-by-step, how to bring someone from totally cold market to a person in your downline, a customer, is really, really beneficial. And that's how I designed it and how I created it, because one thing that I saw in my own business was I personally was really lacking accountability, and I needed that, mentorship and step-by-step system to go into it. So if you're lacking that, then this is a great way to help you. And so that's how I developed the system. Another great benefit of the course is it does provide a lot of other social media sites and how to put them all together. So it's not just on Facebook. Facebook is changing. There's a lot of ways that people may not see your messages, although I give you all the ways that you can get around that. But there are other social media sites that are great to recruit on. You don't just have to focus on Facebook. Where I see people fall through the cracks is they're not sure how to put it all together in a daily routine. You may only have 30 minutes a day. You may only have 2 hours a day. I don't know what it is for you, but if you can be efficient and know exactly what to do in those 30 minutes a day, have a daily routine and get it out to all your sites, you'll be good to go and you'll build an empire. And not just a regular business. I'm talking about a walk-away empire that's duplicable, simple for your team to follow, and something that can build the freedom that you've really wanted. So that's how we designed it, and we're really excited about it.
And that's what you mentioned there just really quickly, is the fact that it's duplicable, that you can actually teach your team how to do this. And I think in network marketing, that's critical, because it's fine if you can do something. We've been teaching online marketing and branding and attraction marketing since 2008, and which is amazing. And some people have had some great success, but it's not a duplicatable method, because not everyone can get out there and start blogging, creating videos, and creating content. And what you're sharing here is actually a specific strategy that anybody can literally do, because it's just having conversations on a social media platform that everyone's already using anyway, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, huge. All right, Jessica, this has been amazing. Really great value. Really appreciate you being here. Let's wrap this up. Just share with everybody 3 quick tips. For those people that are looking right now, they're watching this video, they're listening to you, and they're hungry to create a breakthrough in their business in the next 30 to 90 days. What are 3 key tips that you can offer them to create that breakthrough?
Well, I just have to go back to the big one. Be yourself, be vulnerable, be honest. Don't wait for you to be perfect. Go out there and just do it today. take the stuff you've learned today and start. It doesn't have to be perfect. And my third one would be, let me think about this. I want to give a really good one.
I would say get started in your course, but
get started in the course. There you go. So number 3, get started in the course. It'll definitely help you. It'll benefit you big time. And you'll have, mentorship along the way. So
yeah. I think that's the big thing is not being able to get all those questions answered. I mean, when I think about, I haven't done, this type of prospecting on social media. So when I think about it, I have questions. I have tons of questions, right? What do I say? How do I say it? Who do I approach? Where do I find them? So I can imagine if I'm having all these questions, I can imagine our viewers are as well. And to have that step-by-step daily method of operations, so you know exactly what you're doing when you get online, that's huge because let's face it, we can waste a lot of time on social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. So
yeah. Awesome. Jessica, thank you so much again for being here. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to leave some links down below this video so you can get the resources, get the free training that Jessica has, get more information about her course, and get started on your journey to building a successful business using social media. Jessica, thank you again. I congratulate you on all your success. I'm really excited for this launch and for this course and all the people you're going to be able to help. And I just want to thank you again for being here.
Thanks so much, Norbert. Again, honored. So appreciate you guys and appreciate everyone listening. So
awesome. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you again next week for another edition of the Online Playmaker Sessions. Everyone, take care. I hope you enjoyed this week's Playmaker session. If you love the session, subscribe now to our YouTube channel so you never miss our weekly episodes. Be sure to also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just type in Online Playmakers in the search bar and click subscribe, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. All of the episodes, show notes, transcripts, resources, and bonuses are available on the blog over at onlineprofitplaybook.com, along with several bonus free tutorials I've created for you as well. Your fast track to results is to follow the Playmakers. You can download their closely guarded playbooks and follow them step by step to grow your influence, build your audience, and create results in your business right now. Head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers to get full access today. Thank you again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week as we bring you another power-packed session with the top Playmakers online. This is Norbert Orlowitz signing off.